Welcome back to Games of the Future, a video series where I share some of my thoughts about upcoming games I'm interested in. I got a chance to play the open beta of the upcoming fighting game from Arc System Works, Dragon Ball FighterZ. I originally meant to stream my time with the game, but I ran into some complications, so I just decided to record some clips of my time with the open beta and share my first impressions about it. As I've said many times before, I'm not a huge Dragon Ball fan, but I am a huge fan of Arc System Works. After all, they have created one of my all-time favorite game series, Guilty Gear, and when looking at Dragon Ball FighterZ, it's instantly noticeable who made this game. That incredible 2.5D look, familiar from Guilty Gear Xrd series, is also used here. And god damn does it look good. Just look at it! And naturally, me being a Guilty Gear player, I tend to make a lot of comparisons between Dragon Ball FighterZ and Guilty Gear. And one thing that instantly stuck out for me when comparing these two games with each other was the accessibility of the game. The inputs you need to perform are quite a bit more simple than in Guilty Gear, and most of the special attacks are performed with just a basic fireball motion. There weren't much, if any, inputs that were more complicated than that. There's even auto combos that can be performed by just mashing one button down, but I imagine these combos being less than optimal in the long run. Those do give new players the feeling of actually doing something cool though, and if you perhaps felt that getting into Guilty Gear was too difficult for you, Dragon Ball FighterZ should offer a lot softer landing in comparison. Just as a little side note here, the footage in the background is all my own, so if there's some very odd gameplay or combos going on, well, that's because I didn't know any of them and had to improvise a lot of stuff on the fly. During the whole open beta, I only got a chance to play about 30 matches, so that was a pretty short time period for learning combos or special attacks for multiple characters. And talking about the characters, the game has actually surprisingly big roster coming up. If I remember correctly, the total amount of characters is somewhere around 30 in the final release, including unforgettable fighters like Gohan Adult, Gohan Teen, Gohan Fetus. Dragon Ball FighterZ is a 3v3 tag team fighting game, so instead of focusing on one character, you need to build a team of 3 against your opponent's 3 fighters. While this obviously leads to a bigger cast, individual characters are not quite as unique as in, for example, Guilty Gear, and often share quite a bit of similarities in their attacks. However, knowing this beforehand, I was actually a little surprised that there was quite a bit of variety in the cast. I do prefer 1v1 fighters personally, but I must admit that building my team of 3 started to feel more and more exciting aspect of the game the more I played it, and I could see myself enjoying the game more in the long run than some other 3v3 fighting games I've played. From this varied cast, I spent most of my time with the team of Nappa, Beerus and Kid Buu, since Tien was mysteriously missing from this beta. From this short experience, Kid Buu is so far my favorite of the cast. He had this fun ability that some of his attacks extended his limbs and traveled him forward, allowing you to reset pressure and sometimes cross up your opponent by using those attacks from close to the ground above them. All the characters in the game have these little things at least that set them apart from the rest of the cast. The game is extremely high paced and the movement feels absolutely amazing. It's almost like most of the cast moves like freaking chips enough from Guilty Gear, and even the so-called slower characters like Nappa felt pretty agile compared to heavy characters from other fighting games. On top of this, Dragon Ball FighterZ has some of its own unique mechanics, like this flying dash you can do with the press of a button that makes your character homing dash at your opponent, allowing some pretty neat and flexible combos to happen. The game also has something like a throw and dust attack from Guilty Gear combined that is called Dragon Rush. With Dragon Rush, you can break through your opponent's guard and send them flying for an air combo. Your opponent can counter this with a Dragon Rush of their own, when this flashy animation happens and it returns both you and your opponent to neutral position. Of course, this being a tag team fighting game, you also have your dedicated buttons for calling an assist attack, or switch characters on the fly. When you do this during super moves, you can make those even more powerful, leading to these cool team attack animations. On top of these, there's also Sparking Blast, that's quite similar to Burst from Guilty Gear that can help you to get out of a tight situation, a Vanish attack that lets you teleport behind your opponent, and dedicated input for deflecting projectiles or attacks from the block, or for manual building your meter up. Finally, long combos in the game are actually rewarded, because those grant you Dragon Balls. When you collect all of them, you can summon Shenron, and choose to replenish your HP, revive a fallen fighter from your team, make yourself stronger or invincible for a period of time. It's going to be interesting to see how many upsets this Dragon Ball mechanic is going to cause in the higher level play. There's probably something I forgot, and to be honest I didn't utilize all of the mechanics in the game too much, but the bottom line is this: the game was fun. It was really fun. When you first look at the game, everything is so flashy and chaotic that it almost looks exhausting at times. But when you're actually playing the game and get a better understanding of what everything happening on the screen means and where to pay your attention to, it all becomes more clear. And I had a fucking blast with it. And even at times when I had high frame delay with some of my opponents, the game handled the connections really well. For now it's quite impossible to say how balanced the final experience will be. It will take some time for people to further lap all the characters and team structures, but that's part of the fun in a new game like this. Dragon Ball FighterZ is gorgeous, plays great, sounds great, and has some brand new mechanics of its own, and it comes out 26th of January 2018. If you are a Dragon Ball fan, this game is a must-have. Arc System Works has done such a great job with it while staying true to the source material, that even a person like me who doesn't even particularly like the anime is getting damn excited for it. They're also adding a white-haired female character with baggy pants, so you know it's a must-buy for me. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.